Hey everyone, welcome to BeerThralls Presents Beer Protocol. I'm James. I'm drinking once again the limited edition Southern Tiers Warlock.
Uh, I'm Jacob. I am back in the Sanctum Sanctorum. If you were hoping for more views of my room, too bad it's dirty. So this week we have fixed my camera game, and we are having ourselves a lovely Hardywood.
Ooh, nice.
Their Cuvée Rose, wine barrel aged farmhouse ale with crushed grapes.
Oh, that sounds really good.
It's supposed to be served in a stem glass.
Yeah,
I have a Sam Adams glass.
it's good enough.
Compromises are being made.
Well, sir. Cheers.
Cheers.
While you're in the Sanctum Sanctorum, I'm just going to have my Star Wars propaganda posters behind me.
I mean, they're nice.
All right, so got a lot of stuff happened this weekend. Some mini extravaganza and like some rule changes and card changes and all sort of stuff that we're not going to talk about this week because
I just
Matt's
want to
not
say
here.
up front, I would rather play the dopey half of Hulkbuster than Tony Stark at 3 threat.
Yeah, yeah. So we're not going to talk about it because Matt's not here. He is doing some other stuff, and we definitely want to get our newbie into this. And which, by the way, we actually got a game in on Thursday, and I've taught him that
In person. We could have been
in
playing this whole
person.
time online with
Um,
Tabletop Simulator.
but I taught him quickly that he can't just hide people in the back because I trapped him where he couldn't get through to anyone. And yeah,
Yeah, ranged characters actually do need to move.
yeah,
It's
Ultron,
like the
Ultron
only
in the back didn't help him at all.
Ultron at anything. Okay, let me try again. A There are two characters I can think of who can safely stay in the back most of a game and just be a turret and try to pick
Hawkeye,
people off. Sure, Hawkeye is one. Good kill. Shuri, because
mm,
Shuri is absolutely contributing.
maybe
James,
she's being changed, but we'll get to that.
you want to hear a fun fact?
Hmm,
They didn't change the things you hate about her. They just made her rerolls
I know,
slightly less powerful.
I know.
Therefore, Shuri still gonna Shuri.
But in our game, I actually put Black Cat on the table for the first time, and holy
Hence
mackerel,
today,
is she fun!
we are going to talk about Black Cat, the on again, off again girlfriend slash seductress of the Web Warriors and also Spider Foes franchise.
Yep,
It's very confusing.
she's not good. She's
Sorry,
not bad. She's
Black
both.
Cat. Black Cat is not actually a member of Spider Foes. My mistake. She is a member of A Force, the criminal syndicate,
Hmm.
Midnight Suns, randomly,
Why?
and Web Warriors. At this point, I feel like Midnight Suns is look, have you ever been in New York after 8 p.m.? Have you
God,
ever been active
that makes so much
after
sense.
8 p.m.?
Is she
Spider-Man
also
has an
part
early
of?
bedtime.
Is she part of Criminal Syndicate?
Hmm.
Okay, because I was playing a Criminal Syndicate and I count her as part of it. Um, so yeah, she is a 3 threat model, but she acts more like a 4 threat model for me. She's only got
Well,
5 health. I know.
we'll see if you're right.
She is a long move and she's only size 2. Standard defenses three across the board.
Not good, not bad. Average.
Average.
She's not as squishy as many 2 threat characters. She is a little soft. She is not going to stand up to lots of repeated firepower.
Yes,
So,
for a 3 threat at 5, she's average for a 3 threat character. But she's got 2 attacks. Her first one's a physical, cat claws. Range 2, 4 dice, no cost. It's her builder. Of course, after the attack, she gets power. Blah blah. On wild, she gets pierce. Change one of the defender's dice to a blank if it's
so
hit. Blah blah blah. So
I feel like you want to talk about something else on her
I
card
really do. I
because it's
really
just
want to
like,
get past the builder. I really want to get past her builder. Um,
I want to talk more about her builder, James.
oh God. Okay, talk about more of her builder. Go ahead.
Pierce is a solid ability. It goes on a lot of characters who you think want to be killy or at least finish people off. And I think Black Cat's probably going to fall in the latter category, given she's already a little soft defensively. The fact that it's range 2 means she's got to get close. And that puts her in potentially at risk from a lot of things that hit a lot harder than she does at close range.
Yep.
So she's probably not going to be a stuck-in fighter. You're probably going to be doing hit-in moves.
and yep.
So Cat Claws will help you finish off someone at 1 or 2, when especially with only 4 dice on the base damage. You do not want to be opening with this. You want to be like, meh, and then run.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's for. It's to just basically do her other stuff. Her second attack is also physical, Troublemaker. It's a range 3, 6 dice, 2 power. If this attack would...
James, a spender that costs 2 power. What
Uh,
is this?
oh, there's a reason. If this attack would deal 1 or more damage, it deals 1 damage instead. It's one of
A
those.
spender that only deals 1 damage. James, what is this?
I mean, is this Shuri? What the hell? Gosh.
Shuri's spender will knock someone flat on their ass. There's a reason you don't go to melee with Shuri if she's sitting on a power camp.
But after this attack is resolved, the target character gains stagger. There's no damage, there's no nothing, it just gains stagger.
Stagger, as a quick reminder, means that when next time they activate, they will lose one of their actions, which greatly limits a lot of characters' activations, as you would imagine. Automatic stagger, regardless of anything else that happens, is very good.
So clutch. And
Because you have even like Hulk needs a wild to inflict stagger on somebody.
yeah, this is just no, you just get it. Now on the 6 dice, if you roll a wild, after this attack resolved, the character may advance short.
Specifically, this character, Black Cat, can advance short.
Yep.
So elusive is nice. It's weird though, because I kind of feel, again, it goes with the hit and run motif. Is Black Cat has 2 power. Your opponent has a high value model, Magneto, Thor, Hulk, any number of things, and you're just like, I would like you to do half of whatever it is you're about to do.
Yep.
I'm gonna go run up and Troublemaker. I want to inflict damage, so I'm probably not going to try to Troublemaker on Carnage. But I just need to do 1 point of damage. Actually, never mind.
You
Just
don't have
that.
to. You
don't have to. You don't care.
Yep.
You just run up and be like, stop it.
Boop.
And then hopefully on one of those dice, even if you didn't deal damage, you got the wild so that you can skedaddle back a little bit. Now, a small,
Good English. Very good English.
a small base with a short advance is not going to get you very far. I'm not even sure it'll get you outside of range 2 for all the melee fighters.
It depends on how close you get. You should be within range 3 while using this. I found out quickly that if you are closer than range 3, this does not do as well as you think.
Sorry, that's a fair point. I did forget this is a range 3 attack. It's probably something with the whip. James, do you think she uses the whip?
Oh, she definitely trips you up or something stupid like that. But her powers is what makes her amazing. The grappling hook. For 2 cost, place this character within 2 if its current position. Can only be used once per turn.
I immediately have conflicts.
Why?
Because Troublemaker costs 2.
Mm-hmm.
I could move myself, teleport range 2. Very, very good. Or I could take away one of my opponent's actions on a high value model.
So I wasn't using it for that. So I will explain after this next power why I was doing what I was doing. So Master Cat Burglar. Choose an enemy character within 1 of this character. Move 1 asset or civilian token from that character to this character. This character is now holding that token. This character may not hold more tokens than the crisis specifies. Okay, so if you're within 1, you just drop 3 power, which is kind of easy to get. Like you start off with 1, you just need to get 2 more with Cat Claws. I failed twice out of 5 times getting extra power for this. Oh, excuse me. Yay, beer. So we were playing with the cubes and Criminal Syndicate.
Okay, so in that case, Black Cat has a strong advantage because Black Cat can hold more than 1 cube.
Yep. So she literally so she had, I think at the time, I hit Viper twice. So I think she was sitting in like 6 power, 7 power. She ran past a cube that was on the ground, picked it up because she's got a long move, She then ran up to another character with a cube, grabbed the cube from them, spent two
With Cat
grappling
Burglar.
with Cat Burglar, spent two grapple hooked her way out, and then spent a power to hand off the cube to Kingpin. So she literally in one turn grabbed two cubes, passed off one because it was doing damage to her, and I didn't want her. She's still at 5, and it kind of hurts. Um, but then it still had another action. So yeah, I can move again.
Did she?
Move, power, power. So I use grappling hook. I use Cat Burglar, power.
Okay, sorry. This is actually not important. The point being is you get
Yes,
lots of objective shenanigans with this
you get
character.
objectives. Like
Um,
hammers. Hammers would be great. You walk up to your opponent, you snatch the hammer from them, and then hit them in the face with cat claws.
Hammers buffing a pierce attack is always good. Two more abilities on the card, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. Bad luck. Characters cannot modify their attack dice when targeting this character with attacks.
That
This
is
is very
so.
cool.
That is so clutch. Like okay, like uh, they can't modify any of their dice. So
Well, clarify, James. Any of their attack
attack
dice.
dice. Yes. Um,
Gotcha, buddy.
having people where it's just like, oh no, I can just change this to a wild, or I can uh I think is a reroll modifying a die.
Yes. That's one
Yeah.
of the most explicit things you would do to modify a die. Yep.
All right, so yeah, you can't even do rerolls.
Rerolls is mostly what this stops. I don't think there's that many characters that can just hard change a die to whatever they want.
But I mean, it's very nice to have, especially with her threes.
It's good defensive tech because it means if your opponent gets a bad roll, they got a bad roll. There's nothing they can do to fix it. Again, it turns attacking Black Cat into a very luck-driven event. Now, if your opponent rolls well, they're just going to clobber her over the head,
Yeah.
which is where her last ability kicks in, Stealth.
Yep.
Characters must be within range 3 of this character targeted with attacks. So that's helpful. That is a decent defensive kit. All threes, 5 health, stealth, and then no modified attack dice. She is not tanky at all, but she is a sturdy objective runner who has more going for her defensively than it looks.
She is a solid objective runner. I actually like her better than I like Toad. I'd rather spend the extra point than to take Black Cat than to actually do the 2 and take Toad.
Because Black Cat, again, Troublemaker to me is such a relevant thing. Even if all you do in a turn is use your 2 actions to take away 2 of your opponent's actions, again, depending on which models you're targeting with Troublemaker. Like if you're using, I mean, you might deal a damage along the way. But if you're using Troublemaker to stagger 2 3 threat characters, you're probably getting an even trade. But if you're using it on your opponent's special shinies, like Thanos, or just, again, anything 4 or higher, you're trading up.
Yep.
So that's a way to think about it, especially if there's not a better objective for you to go harass with Black Cat. And that wouldn't even necessarily be a bad idea if you can get elusive off of that because you're still moving. You could get into position to secure, you could get near an extract, and then pick that up.
I think at one point I actually threw her at Sabretooth because Sabretooth was having such a hard time hitting her. Yeah, I mean, if anything, she's a great just get up on the other side, like we were doing Gamma Shelters, having her just either sit in the back or, then launch herself to the far side objective, especially with Criminal Syndicate, where now she counts as 2. Yeah.
So
By
let's
the way,
talk a little bit about affiliation synergies
real
since
quick,
you brought up Criminal Syndicate.
her back is the same.
Good clarification. So she's part of a lot of affiliations. So
She
there's a
is.
lot of factions that can try to take her. And I think this is actually kind of important for the overall game health and meta. Is previously we've seen this steal an asset on, I think, a tactic card. I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but also on Enchantress. And since Enchantress came out, we've now seen it again on Black Cat, and I think one other model who's escaping me right now. So having this effect spread out amongst more affiliations gives you an in-affiliation options that you don't necessarily have to spend 4 threat on Enchantress,
Hmm.
especially if you are already splashing for other things. So I think that's really cool from a list building perspective, and the fact that Black Cat is good, also good.
Now, I know how she fits into Criminal Syndicate, which was she was my objective runner. She was basically running up, and if somebody had a cube that was really close to the front line on Gamma shelters, like I literally was like, you know what? If she takes a damage, being outside of range of one of the shelters, sure, why not? Um, but having her just run up, grab one of the cubes, and then be able to pass it off to somebody else was great. And then towards the end of the game, I needed somebody on the back point, and she's able to move long, and just
Hmm.
bypassed everyone, sat on the back point, counted as 2 people. I don't know
Yep,
how
it's
she's going to
strong.
fit inside of Web Warriors. Um,
Well, I can speak up from what I expect Web Warriors will be. I look forward to trying her out myself. Um, Web Warriors has a fairly strong objective game with Miles Morales as the leader. Any Web Warrior holding an objective token gets to re-roll, I think, 1 die on attack and defense, including skulls.
oh,
So as long as they have any objective token, they can re-roll skulls.
that's nice.
So her being able to just run up and steal one gives her access to a strong. And again, I think it's on attack and defense. Let me look up Miles to make sure. So again, with Miles as the leader, okay, allied characters can always re-roll a defense die if they have an objective token or they're contesting an objective token. They can modify and re-roll skulls. Simple but clean. It's an easy to apply ability, and I think it's going to give her a little extra edge defensively for when you're using her to secure and run objectives. With
Um,
Amazing Spider-Man, their leadership ability to spend 1 power to apply slow to
mhm.
enemies. With her long move and her potential troublemaker elusive, she can run up, stagger somebody, then slow them if she's close enough. I think it's range 1, and probably not get away still. Because I'm now realizing in my head if she's within range 1, then that slow advance isn't going to get her
But
away.
still, being able to pass out a stagger and slow on an individual,
Hmm.
that's you basically neutered that person for a round.
Unless they're willing to spend their 1 action to get rid of slow, in which
Hmm.
case you've cost them an entire activation. It's great. And also, don't forget that with Amazing Spider Man, if they already have slow, you can instead, I believe, advance them short
Nice.
and take away slow. So that gives Web Warriors a lot of movement shenanigans if they have enough ways to apply slow in a given round.
I
So I think the fact she's a long mover lets you apply that as surprise, especially since it's action free manipulation. It's not even a power. Oh well, sorry, it's a leadership ability. So I don't even know if there's any powers that could really affect that.
so
It's cool.
what about A Force? That's so Midnight Suns. I have no clue because I haven't looked at the
I'll have to
Midnight
look
Suns
up.
stuff yet.
I
But A
believe
Force,
Blade
yeah, it's
is the
Blade.
Midnight Suns leader. Bump in the night. Once per turn, anytime during an allied character's activation, they can spend 1 to be placed within 1 of their current position. Gives her more teleports.
More teleports.
I don't think that has. I mean, it does what she wants to do already, so that's cool.
I mean, having her be able to go up, steal at one an objective from somebody, and then teleport one just for spending a power is nice. And then she's still within roughly 2.
Yeah.
She can then
Well, she could do
do
that on top of her own teleport.
and then spend 2 to bounce another 2 inches. It's more teleportiness.
Yeah. And then finally, A Force, again, so many affiliations. A Force in particular, I'm a little jazzed about with Black Cat
Okay.
because A Force's affiliation is when when any of them are damaged, one other member of the team gets power.
Wow, having
So
her get more and more power is good.
having Black Cat get free power because all of her abilities are relatively cheap, including her spender, which staggers, gives her easy
Hmm,
teleports, easy theft of objective tokens, and lots of stagger to pass out.
that's nice. I like that.
So A Force is similar to Avengers. A Force is a really simple kind of thing to apply. The only thing you have to figure out is who gets it. And if you just chunk a power over to Black Cat, I think you're allowed to do 1 per round. She'll be topped off and able to do a lot.
I mean, starting off with one power because of the start of the round, and then having another power because uh, you just like somebody else gets damage from A Force, automatically gives her troublemaker, gives her a grappling hook. So yeah, that's God. That she fits in really well to almost every single faction she's in.
Hmm. She's a great now. All these affiliations already have good objective runners, so she does have competition. A Force is so broad you could have on almost good everything in there, but another good objective runner for a reasonable threat cost is not at all bad to sneeze at.
I mean,
Um,
Criminal Syndicate doesn't really have a good objective runner. Um, so
don't
she's
they
kind
have
of it.
don't they have Mystique?
Do they have Mystique? No, Brotherhood and Cabal.
Oh, my bad. Cabal is
Mysterio,
what I
but
was. Yeah,
yeah, you're thinking Mysterio.
fair enough.
So like she's kind of like the objective runner for Criminal Syndicate. Which, if you have to have an objective runner, oh no, please not Black Cat.
At the very least, it means they need to splash a little less, which makes certain tactics cards, like the one that gives them all super stealth, more effective if you
Yep.
are splashing less out of affiliation models.
Actually, it's not a
Uh,
bad idea of like giving her super stealth. Um,
and one of again, we are going to do a whole episode on the mini extravaganza announcements, but
mhm,
one of the really relevant ones is list building will now let you take 10 tactic cards, if I remember correctly, instead of 8.
correct.
So that gives you more room to take faction specific
Mm-hmm.
affiliation cards. So I think we're likely going to see um, maybe not fewer splashed models, but I think you're going to see less risk of opportunity. Less. What's the
No,
phrase I'm looking
I
for?
will definitely take more character
Yeah.
based cards as opposed to more generic cards.
Hmm.
With a 10 choice.
Speaking of, she has a combo with Peter Parker, a tactic card called the
Yeah.
Cat and the Spider.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to enjoy this when I play against you because
I
it
know.
is look, there's no easy way to say this. It's a fastball special.
It's a fastball special.
If Peter Parker is within range 2 of an allied Black Cat, both characters may spend 1 power each to play this card. Throw the allied Black Cat medium. She does not suffer collision damage during this throw. After the throw is resolved, Black Cat can immediately interact with any number of objective tokens without spending power.
Yep. Yep.
That interact with any number of objective tokens is hilarious
Yeah.
because dream scenario is if you can hit 2 people, if you can knock 2 bases, which is theoretically possible with throws, or if one person has 2 objectives, it's like a Borderlands enemy and they explode and loot.
Yeah, it's the golden opportunity is they're both sitting on one, you throw them and they both take a point of damage. And
Yes.
they both drop the thing and she immediately just goes for no power. Bing. Mine.
It's even it's honestly extremely good. Even just the spend 1 to be thrown medium without the
Yeah.
objective thing, I think would still be worth considering this card because that's a big movement bonus for Black Cat.
Mhm.
It is outside of Black Cat's activation, and you can either throw her into trouble to reposition her right before her turn goes. She could do it on her own turn and start her turn off while she's next to Spider-Man with a throw, or move next to Spider-Man and get thrown.
It's
It
also a good
can,
retreat if like you have like a objective like
yeah.
Wakanda herbs that say like you can only move short.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
where
Use this
he just
to
goes,
throw herbs.
he goes, "Ba-ding," and like tosses her backwards. Yeah, it's
Super
all around.
flexible.
It's really flexible.
And it's not like there's a new amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, who loves being in the thick of big melee combats
Yeah, I
and
know.
has no issue with web swinging in to save Black Cat by throwing her out of a melee.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. If you could pick up even one objective token with this, it's probably worth considering because it only costs Black Cat 1, which it would cost her to pick up that token anyway. It's
I would say
it's
always use that on her turn though.
it's a great tactic card for or because a big argument not to use it on her turn, which would be kind of interesting, is the fact it lets you pick up objective tokens outside of her activation.
It lets you get to interact.
Yeah.
So you
which
could
for
literally,
extracts is pick them up. But for
well,
certain secures, you
mhm,
could look for a senator. You could look for a hostage.
that's what I was thinking.
So
It's
it could
like
be on
you just,
Spider-Man's turn.
yeah, you fling her forward. She immediately interacts with a directed token and flips it, and
Hmm.
see if it's actually like, I don't know, look at the hostage or something. And if it is, cool, she can just immediately pick it up.
Yep.
Um, if not,
And
then
again,
oh well, you now know it's one of the other two.
yep. And it happens. But anything that lets you check multiple objectives like that in a single activation is potentially really strong. This is just a cool thing. And it's only for web warriors, or it's only really practical at web warriors, unless
Yeah,
you play Criminal Syndicate and splash a Peter Parker.
I'm not gonna splash Peter Parker. I'm gonna splash Lizard, and um, Craven. Uh, throw in some of the heavy hitters. I'm not gonna throw
Look,
in Peter.
all I'm saying is Black Cat and this card literally come in the same box as Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh no, it's a given. It's an awesome.
It is for those two.
So anyway,
It was a kindness that they let you use it with original Spider-Man.
it is. So thank you guys for watching. Um, we appreciate it, and we look forward to next week where we talk about all the wonderful changes that are going to be coming from the mini extravaganza. So thank you.
I personally am excited for all the new changes. I'm excited for some of the new models. I'm also excited to watch James squirm when we talk about Amazing Spider-Man in full detail, as he has to sit there and admit how cool this model is,
I
both in
do.
sculpt, in pose, and in rules, as he just sits there and pretends to be a villain, acknowledging that almost nothing in Spider Foes is as cool as that model.
Whoa. Whoa, those are fighting words, lizard.
I mean, Lizard's cool, but
Oh, all right. I have to go drive over to Jake's house to go beat him up. So game
bring
off.
your models.
Game off.
Pay him off.